So you may remember the story that we covered here about how the UK is advancing their censorship tactics, their authoritarianism to arrest people for posts. You think like this is something Orwell told us in, all these books that he's published that now has become a reality. It's just absolutely chaotically crazy that the UK is demanding the arrest of people posting things online, whether it be X or Facebook or Google or Reddit, whatever the case may be. If it doesn't align with their narratives, they want people arrested. And it got even further when the UK police commissioner expanded that not only to people within the UK, but they want this globally. And this is the ultimate red flag that I wish more people stood up against this, because if the UK is demanding the arrest globally around the world that don't fit into their narrative, this is the ultimate, this is global tyranny. This is the one world government. This is the new world order. This is how they dominate over people and society and culture. Because if we don't have the ability to express different ideas and opinions, if we don't grow from that, then we're nothing. Society doesn't flourish. We don't exist. Nothing's going to evolve. And we're returning back to the harmful dark ages where the peasants and the plebes don't have any say. They're pretty much slaves at this point, and the powerful, the corrupt, retain as much power as possible. Like, we're at that point now, and it's just amazing that not a lot of people mention about this, and it's really frustrating. So this guy here, Christopher Skelly, says Metropolitan Police Chief claims that they will now arrest and extradite people, no matter what country, who violates their speech codes. Further proof of authoritarian nature of the UK. This must be fought. And you think I'm kidding, but this is Sky News. This is a big main public news outlet in the UK, and they talked to the police commissioner. Listen how deranged and sinister this guy is going to sound. Listen to this.
We will throw the full force of the law at people, and whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you.
Talk to me about that, because we have seen some high-profile figures whipping up the hatred. You talked about it in there with the officers, in fact, about this being added to by online commentary. I mean, I'm even thinking of the likes of Elon Musk getting involved. What are you considering when it comes to dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behaviour from behind a keyboard, maybe in a different country?
Being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law. You can be guilty of offences of incitement, of stirring up racial hatred. There are numerous terrorist.
Being a keyboard warrior doesn't make you safe from the law. It's amazing that the British that fought in World War II against the Nazis about German fascism have now rebranded fascism. I can't believe I am at this point. I can't believe I'm alive to witness that the UK has now become the fascists. After all the years of fighting these wars, after all the years of, respecting democracy, that was all just a big giant lie to this. And this is going to happen more often. This is already just in the UK, but there's also Australia. We mentioned extensively about our censorship laws, Bill C-11, C-18, C-63 that's coming out. The United States also has these provisions. Like, this is the neoliberal world domination. This is how they're going to control and manipulate. This is brought to you by the most heinous, sinister people known to mankind. Everyone from Bill Gates, the World Economic Forum, to the WHO, to big banks, to corporations. This is how they can ball everything together so they can have a dominating force over everyday society. And then they could paint the picture of saying, this is how we're protecting people. Look, see that picture of the UK riots? Do you want that to happen in your neighborhood? We got to take over people on the internet. You're not allowed to have ideas. You're not allowed to express thoughts because we're protecting you. That's what Nazis used to say about Germans. We're protecting you by going to other countries, invading them, and slaughtering those people. We're protecting you. We're protecting the nation. Again, case in point, fascism didn't go away. Slavery didn't go away. It just got rebranded. We're not, 1940s fascists anymore. We don't see the Nazis up front and close anymore. They're now hidden behind business interests. They're now hidden behind global forums. They're now hidden behind leadership roles. These are the true fascist Nazis that have dominated over the globe since the dawning of these countries. And it's amazing that people still have not woken up to this. That the UK is demanding other countries to arrest their citizens for not standing for the global agenda. I can't believe this.
Offences regarding the sort of publishing of material. All of those offences are in play if people are provoking hatred and violence on the streets, and we'll come after those individuals just as we will physically confront on the streets the thugs and the obs who are causing the problems for communities.
They're going to take the same laws that they use to prosecute people rioting on the streets as they would for people online. All this just keeps reminding me of all these arguments I've had with people because, I'm a huge supporter of the principle of free speech. I am across the board for free speech, regardless of how the people communicate, regardless of how you feel about certain individuals. People have that right. It's a principle right. Regardless of how you feel about that person, whether it being myself or Jimmy Dore or Alex Jones or Nick Fuente, regardless of people are Donald Trump, Elon Musk, regardless, why do we have to diminish those people's rights and accept your rights? What makes you better than any of the other people? We are all, we're citizens of different countries. We have those laws in place. We have those rights and guarantees and provisions purposely to protect people's ability to express who they are, express their opinions, express their ideas, express their free speech. And when you start targeting people, even if it's just one person, when you start cookie cuttering and trying to, say one person doesn't have the right to express themselves, but someone else does, that's when all goes to hell. That's when you open the floodgates and then everyone becomes a target. You're either for free speech across the board or you ain't. And this is just detrimental, and this is going to ruin civilization. Name a point in human history where people the higher up that censored out the peasantry and name a time that's actually benefit the lower classes. Name a time that's benefit countries' growth. Name a time where censorship has evolved society, has made us better. It hasn't, because censorship is a true form of evil. And this is what this man is provoking, is true authoritarian global evil to the world, demanding countries that they need to extradite their people. They need to arrest citizens from overseas that they have no control over. They have to arrest people overseas because of things that are published on platforms on the internet. This is beyond. This goes beyond Adolf Hitler style fascism, dictatorship. This goes beyond that. I don't think even Joseph Stalin, if he saw this today, I don't think he can even comprehend on how chaotic this is. That we have gone to a global scale of tyranny. And it's happening, folks. It's happening, folks, because here's an article from my neck of the woods here in Canada. This is out in Vancouver, though. And it says, Chilliwack RCMP arrests social media user over discriminatory and racial offensive posts. It's happening. It's happening. all the times that I said, when you hear about, the Great Reset and the WEF's going to take control, it's already happening. It's already happening, whether we like it or not, whether we revolt or not. And I don't know what else is going to take for people to wake up to this, realize that this goes far beyond just Justin Trudeau or Chrystia Freeland or any of our representatives, or even in the UK or even in America. This goes far beyond your leadership. There's no nations anymore. There's no countries, just like how in the movie Network, Robert Duvall, go watch it, 1976, got released. In that movie, when they stated that there's no nations, there's no countries, it is just a bunch of companies and the international exchange of dollars. That's all this is. And that is how they're taking control of this. That now, because WEF can control governments, we don't have a Canada anymore. We don't have representation. We don't have democracy. Democracy is diminished across the West, across developed societies, because these credences in these groups, these sinister groups, have taken control and are doing stuff like this. That they're arresting people for posts. It's just, I literally cannot believe this. Let me make this a bit bigger here. So it says Mounties in Chilliwack say they recently arrested one person over discriminatory and harmful language posted on social media. Police were notified on July 17th about an ex-user who had been posting racially offensive content on the platform. Chilliwack RCMP said in a news release Saturday. The detachment said it has worked with the BC Hate Crimes Unit. Good. Yeah, BC extended their police force to have a hate crimes unit. This is, again, you cannot believe we're living in the era that we're in right now. Members of the police to identify the suspect user of the account and made an arrest on August 7th. Police did not name the suspect, who has been released from custody, nor did they share the suspect's gender, saying only that several criminal code charges have been recommended but have not been yet approved. So the RCMP goes to this stranger's house, arrests them for a social media post, comes up with these phony charges, but they can't actually charge them with anything because they're not approved. So you just stormed into people's house and arrested them for nothing. This is Canada, folks. This is Canada, folks. I like, how are we not, rioting in the streets at this point? Like, I've been saying for a while, we need to have like more of these freedom, like regardless of how you felt about the first one. If we don't take action, if Canadians of all walks of life don't see this and take action now, God only knows what's going to happen next. God only knows that it's going to be me or you or anybody else. I can't believe they're arresting people that they don't even have full convicted charges of those arrests. That's insane. Chilliwack RCMP spokesperson Corporal Carmen Keener told the Canadian press the arrested person is a woman who is allegedly targeting members of the South Asian community. Keener said police hope the woman will make her first court appearance in the next few weeks, and if charges are approved, more details will be made public. Oh my God. This is a sensitive matter that has impacted many members of the community, which is evicted in the amount of information that continues to be reported to the Chilliwack RCMP, said Keener in news release. We appreciate all the information that has been received, as we will continue to follow up. The investigation is ongoing, police said. So they don't even release what post they deem offensive, and they never will. They never will. And this is how they're able to get away with this. I noticed this, being a YouTuber. I noticed this when my channel got deactivated and we had to start all over again, which is why still to this day we have such a low subscriber count and viewer count, even though we know that we're doing better. This is YouTube throttling small community channels, which undermines the whole purpose of having YouTube. But anyway, they're able to get away with this because they make these laws so vague. Like the hate crimes unit. What exactly are they? What hate? Like hate is such a generalized word, such a broad term. What exactly are they stopping? What crime are they stopping that's stopping hate? That doesn't even make any sense. That's like having a war on happiness. I'm gonna have a war on sadness. You're depressed. You're sad. We're gonna have a war against that. What does that mean? What does that mean? You can't have a war on a feeling. You can't have laws on feelings. It makes no sense. And the fact that they are arresting people now and they can't even come up with the charges. They have to wait for approval for charges. So they're going to people's houses, tracking down their IP addresses, storming into their house, arresting them, throwing them into prison, making their lives absolutely miserable in hell, and they don't even know what to charge them with. This is just unbelievable. And like I said, it's amazing that we were told back in the day, you remember history class when, all this is stuff we would hear about, the old Soviet Union Empire and how German in the 1940s or communism in China or how North Korea has state television. Like you hear all about this. And none of that's ever, it's now come to here. Like now we're part of that same problem. And it's all because we didn't actually stop it. We didn't actually change influence. We didn't do any political measures. We just rebranded. Like we took fascism, we took it away from Germany, plopped into other territories thanks to Operation Paperclip. Go look that up. That's just sinister on its own. We got former Nazis to come into our countries and then built up fascism in our backyard. That's all we did. We didn't stop it. We didn't do anything to stop it, not stop authoritarianism. We don't have democracy. Like, everything you've been told is just a fable at this point. It's just an utter fable. And stuff like this just goes by willy-nilly. And there are people out there that are okay with this. And I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that there's people out there that could look at this, can read this and go, well, maybe it was a racist comment. So obviously, well, you don't even know what the comment is. They don't even tell you what the comment is. They're not even, all they say is some sort of, demoralizing thing towards South Asians. But what exactly, without context, you don't know. And even they don't know. They can't criminally charge anybody if they don't know the context. So this is just haywire, gone berserk. This is just, this is stuff you read in Orwell. This is 1984, The Matrix. This is all the stuff you thought was science fiction and just impossible to happen to humanity is happening right now. And I hope for the Jetsons' future. I was hoping that the future would involve, the 1960s cartoons of flying cars and peace and love and serenity. I was hoping for that kind of future, not this. Because if this is future, holy crap, I don't know. It's not, I don't want to even know. I don't want to go further on this. But be aware, this is Canada. This is what's happening in Canada. It's happening in the UK. It's happening in Australia. It's happening in France. It's happening in all these developed nations. It's happening in the United States. It's happening all over. And that's because, again, oligarchy continues to rule on, and the people are just blinded and brainwashed and just distracted. As Orwell says, give them bread in a circus, they'll never revolt. And that's what we got right now. Like I went to turn on the news last night, and literally all they talked about was, the DNC and Joe Biden's, speech, and just all that's like, I don't know. I don't know what else is going to take. And then they talked about Taylor Swift, whether she was going to endorse Kamala or not. Like, come on. This goes on an average day, and that's what you're going to focus on, is what celebrity is endorsing who. I don't give a shit. I don't care what celebrity is endorsing in politics. I don't care. People are allowed to have their opinions. Just let them be. But this cannot go silent. So for the love of God, please share this article, share this video, and let people know that it's happening. If it's happening to this person and it happens to other people, it's going to happen to you. You watch. There's going to be a moment where the government is going to look at you and say, well, that's kind of out of line for your nature, and they're going to do stuff to you. Which is why, again, myself, I'm a principled person when it comes to free speech. And you have to be principled because of stuff like this. You have to be. Because if we don't stop it now, they're going to come after you. And then who's going to fight for you?